Forwards and behind the net. Three. Tries to bring it out, but behind the net. Knocked down to the point. Chance now. Rip the shot. Over. Score! What a beauty! And what a pass! And Rhynold has tied this game at 2.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 5 of the EOSHL podcast. My name is Justin Allery. Our special guest today, he comes in from the Tweed Oil Kings with 50 games played, 50 goals, 43 assists for 93 points. He's been an Oil King since the very beginning. We've got number 16, Andrew Rhynold. Welcome to the show, Rhino.
Hey, Justin, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Always love seeing you wearing the Oil Kings green and gold. Big question here for you is, for the fans, you maybe you're not as familiar with the Oil Kings. Where are you from, and where did the root of hockey start for you?
I'm from Bowmanville. I was born in Scarborough, but at 6 years old, my parents moved me out to Bowmanville. And at about like 5 years old is the first time I got on skates. But my first year of house league actually wasn't until 6 years old. And my dad literally just put me on the ice. I didn't have any power skating, nothing. I could barely stand out there. I was just flopping around. And after that year of house league, I went into some hockey schools, did some power skating, learned how to skate. I played one more year of house league, and then I started playing with the Clarendon Toros. I played there for a year, and then I went to the GTHL and played for the Wexford Raiders because Clarendon only had it in AA, so I played there for a year. And then after that, Clarendon went up to AAA, and I started playing there for the rest of my minor hockey career. After that, I played my first year of junior when I was 17 with good old Webby out in Colburn. That's where I met Heather and Reg, and as you know, we've been really close friends ever since. After that, I played some junior A for Port Hope Predators and Ajax Attack, and then finished my junior career with the Port Perry Mojacks. And then just pretty much men's league till I got this great opportunity to come play senior in Tweed.
Now, I know you're a big Philadelphia Flyers fan, as well as an Eagles fan for those who like football. Now, I gotta ask you here. So, do you model your game after anybody who played for the Flyers, or is there a story there, like, or anybody in the NHL you look at and like, hey, I really want to play like this guy?
Well, yeah, the main reason I became a Flyers fan was growing up. They had the Legion of Doom, and just their style of hockey I like. They're big, they're strong, they're fast, they're skilled, and that's something I love to watch and love to put my game over. But my favorite player of all time was Steve Yzerman, and that's one guy I always looked up to, and I've tried to mimic his game as much as humanly possible.
All we need to do now is see it rip a clapper, right before the blue line, go top shelf. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
remember
don't think.
watching that live. That gave me
Oh yeah,
chills.
that goal still gives me chills every time I see it. But if you watch me through
Oh
these
man,
couple of years, clappers aren't my thing. I pride
no.
myself on my snapshot and my wrist shot, and yeah, my slap shot's not a very good weapon I use very often.
It could be one of those like deceptive ones where the goalie's not expecting it, and then
Yeah. I,
now
I,
how did you enter into the league with the Tweed Oil Kings? So that was back in 21-22. So how did you find out about the EOSHL, and how did you make your entry to the league?
well, as from the last podcast, my really good buddy Luigi Martoni, he was playing ball hockey with a guy, and he was playing for Alveston in the WSHL, and he asked me and Louis if we wanted to come out. But once we looked it up and saw all the travel would be, I'm like, yeah, that's too much. I can't make that work. So he's like, give me a couple days, and yeah, a couple days later, he said, what about Tweed? He's like, I found a team out there, and they're starting up, and they're looking for some players. And I thought, hey, that's not too bad. Why not give it a shot and see how it goes?
And look how that turned out, right? Like it's incredible. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong on this. You scored the very first goal in Tweed Oil Kings history.
Yeah, that was out in Frontenac, where I actually played
Yep.
there quite a bit. I kind of had a little advantage there because I played junior there when I played for Colburn. They used to have a junior C team, and yeah, I was fortunate enough to get a nice pass from Devin McCann and was able to bury the first ever Tweed Oil King goal.
That's amazing. I believe that was a victory for you guys. I think it was, well, I wasn't in the fold yet, but I believe I heard it was like something like a 7-6 game or something along those lines. It was very tight. Now, I know you
Pretty
mentioned
close to.
Yeah, I know you mentioned earlier to me about the Legion of Doom in Philly, for the Flyers. Now, I'm going to ask you talk to us a little about like your Legion of Doom in Tweed. So you played a little bit on the line with Sheldon Thompson and Brandon Kudo. Now, you guys were considered some of the most like one of the most dangerous lines in the entire league. What was that experience like to have that next gear, like that next level?
Honestly, that was an awesome year. Fun fact: me and Kudo have known each other and played together since we were about 10 years old. So we had a little bit of history. And Shelly was one of Kudo's buddies he brought out, and we just seemed to gel. And yeah, that year just it felt like it went by so fast, but while it was going, it was phenomenal. Like playing with two guys of that skill, it just makes the game easy. You're not fighting for anything. Someone's always open, and all of us could score. So it really didn't matter who ended up with the puck at the end of the play. We knew it was probably going to go in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I can definitely say, being, before doing what I'm doing now, I remember like going down it with Frontenac, and you guys were just always ripping them everywhere. And that's one of the things that I always loved about when you go into Tweed is like the games they never disappoint. So like the Oil Kings, you guys always put on a good show. Now, this past season, we noticed that you were playing on a line a lot with Darren Doherty and Dylan Ingram. How did you guys manage to pick up that chemistry so quickly?
Well, like I said, good players playing with good players makes it easy. Like Doe, man, that guy, he's ageless. Like I can't believe at his age how good and how skilled he is. Like he just makes it easy for you out there. And then Pickles, man, that guy, he would fit into the Legion of Doom. He crashes, he bangs, he's so good in front of that net, and he's just an ox out there. And yeah, so it took us a game or two just to get used to how each other play and our styles, but I thought we adapted pretty quickly and got productive after that.
Yeah, I know, like being around your team a lot this past season, you saw that there was like some like a really like just something special about that locker room. Like just being around, like you guys have a lot of coaches, a lot of staff, volunteers. There's something special about that community that I think, the league really like. I remember having this discussion with Colton at the end of not this past season, but the season before, saying, "Hey, if we want to build something really good in Frontenac, we need to look at Tweed and what they're doing because what they're doing is phenomenal." I was saying like that was like to me that's like one of the premier organizations in the league to model after. And I don't know where I'm kind of going off here, but it's a community that's amazing. I mean, as a player for you, that's going to be something pretty special.
Oh no, it's amazing. Ever since that first game, the community's welcomed us with open arms, uh, and we've come together as a group really well. Like everyone in that dressing room, every man's there for the guy beside him. Like we battle hard, and if you notice in our team, we don't quit. No matter what the score is, no matter how much we're down, we fight till the bitter end. And it's just the sense of that community that's always supporting us. Like you've been there, like coming out and seeing all those fans, like it's not that hard to get up for games. Like it's an extremely special place to play, and I'm extremely grateful to be able to play on this team.
Yeah, and there's been some great examples of that where you guys were down like by 2 or 3 goals and ended up coming back and storming back for a win. I remember the high school reunion game. You guys were down. I think it was like 3-0, and it was like 4-1 at one point. And you guys came back to win that game. What was it like, 15-5 or something, or 14-5? It was crazy, and I remember how electric that was in that building at that. that point. So like as a player during that game, like how did the crowd play into that game for you guys?
Well, I know on our bench, we always stay up, we always stay positive. Like Murray is such a phenomenal leader, and he always keeps the boys in check, knowing to stay positive. We never get down. And we knew, he said in between intermissions, he said, don't worry about the score. All we got to do is get one going, and we know the rink will get rocking, and we will feed off that energy. And that's exactly what we did. We came out, potted a couple of quick goals, got the crowd going, and after that, it was pretty much just game over. Sorry, Marmara.
Hey, and no love lost there. But no, I honestly, it had to have been one of the most. Actually, that was a really special moment for Billy and I because that was our first game we did that was not a Frontenac game, and that was really where we started kind of getting recognition around the league as, hey, like this what we're doing is actually providing some value here and fans are really enjoying it, and that was a really big turning point for what we're doing. So again, that's kind of a big thank you to you guys for having us out to do that. And it was something that was really, it's really grown into something special. So again, it's a big thank you to you guys as well.
Well, no,
um
I want to say
Now,
thank you to you and Billy because what you guys do and what you do for this league, it's top notch. Like the work you guys put in, the miles. Like I know in the one game playoffs, you went from Tweed to Smith Falls all in one night, and like just that dedication that you Billy have and the phenomenal job you do from me and I know pretty much every player in the league. We appreciate all your guys' efforts.
oh, we appreciate that. We do it all for you guys, the fans, the family. uh, you know, uh, it's really the USHL is a big family, and we love being part of it. And we're like, honestly, it's just something that kind of like just grew to what it is now because of everybody being so supportive of it. One thing I got to ask you here. So I mentioned about Tweed having a tremendous fan support. It's even felt on the road games as well. Like I remember, there's a couple times in Frontenac this year where Rooster and a whole bunch of the guys were there, and oh man, you can hear them. You can hear us go Tweed, and I, from my standpoint, it's fun when you see like teams come in with their fans because it shows the dedication and the growth that the league is getting, right? And it's so wonderful. Even from like my standpoint, I love it. I love seeing opposing like fans from other teams coming into the buildings, and it's great, right? But fan wise, I say like for Tweed, the fans have been so devoted to the team. Every single game, it's packed. And what is it that do you think that the organization has done to build such a successful product?
Um, the thing I think most about is our ownership, our coaches, all the staff. They said that Tweed, we are part of the community. We are community first. We know that the minor hockey, the figure skating, all that, they're the ones that support that rink, and we're the ones that get feed off of that. So they've done a tremendous job of incorporating the community in all our games. Like we always have a team coming on the bench for warm-ups. We always have kids coming down for flag bearers during the anthems, and even after the games, allowing kids to come in the room, sign autographs, take pictures, do whatever they want. I think that's been the formula for our success is making sure that we are a community first team.
That's really important, right? I know, myself being on the ice for a few times there with you guys, getting some shots, and so I know Chuck doing his thing behind the bench with the green and gold suit. I think it's great. A lot of these kids, they look to you guys as like rock stars, right? And that's gonna give you guys just a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Like it makes you guys feel like superstars out there, right? And another thing too is I always notice like every single game I've been to, your family's always there, and how does that what does that mean to you to have your family in the stands for all your games? I know you see your wife there all the time, your kids, your parents, your mom, fantastic human being. Again, I'm gonna say it, her shortbread cookies, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it means a lot to me. Like before I started playing here, I talked to my wife and said like, yeah, I want to try to do this. It's going to be a lot of commitment. There's going to be a lot of days I'm on the road. Like I live in Bowmanville, so a lot of our games I leave 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm not getting home till midnight, 1 a.m. And she backed me up, and seeing them in the stands, it it fills my heart because like my kids get to see something I'm passionate about, something I'm doing, and just knowing that if they put in the work, that they can be successful in anything they want to be at.
Now, I know the very first time I met your family was actually this past season. Actually, it was in I think it was your guys' first game of the year. It was in Frontenac, and I see a young lad wearing an Oil Kings hoodie, and they won the chuck a puck contest. Ends up that it was your son. So when I asked him on the mic, I'm like, "Who's your favorite player?" And he basically just pointed. I'm like, "Oh, he's one of my favorite players too." And I met your dad, and I met your mom, I believe, was there, and your wife, and you have a daughter as well, I believe, is right.
Yep, my wife Alyssa, my son Merrick, my daughter Violet, my mom Arnie and May, and sometimes my aunt Marie, and my uncle Bern come. So I feel very grateful that they come and support me and come out and watch.
It's funny. I remember coaching my first game ever was in Tweed. It was I remember I come out in the suit and I see your mom there and she's like, "Justin, you look so handsome." She comes up to me and gives me a hug. I'm like, "Oh man, that just really helped me with my jitters." But then I remember that game. I'm going to talk about it a lot here, but I remember that was a game where the Oil Kings roasted Frontenac. It was like 15-2 or something. I think that was the game where there was that awkward collision you had with the Charlie horse, and I remember in that moment I was just like, oh shit, like like I when I saw like you were on the ice, I was like I felt so bad. I remember like after the game, I remember Murray was all steaming in the moment, thinking it was like in an intent to injure, and after all heads for cooled down and all that. I remember I came over to your room, and Murray was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, but I remember coming to see you, and it was just a sense of relief that you were okay, because like when you see someone go down, you never you really hope that they're not hurt badly or anything like that. So but that game really, I'm gonna tell you, that game left a lot of PTSD on our group. But honestly, it really was a good teaching moment as well. So
No, and you know
um
what? In that situation, that was just a freak accident. I zigged when I should have zagged. I know he wasn't trying to knee me. He messaged me after, apologized, and I told him, "Hey, no worries. That's hockey. That happens sometimes. I know there was no malicious intent. He wasn't trying to hurt me at all,
yeah,
and it just happens."
no. And he felt really awful about it too. I remember, I remember he's like he kind of felt really bad about it after. I remember, and we moved. Basically, we helped him kind of like realize like it was an accident. Like it's okay, you can move on from it. Now I just learned something new today. I'm going to ask you about it. How do you feel about refereeing?
Oh, well, it's a touchy subject for me. It's a love-hate relationship because I do ref hockey. I ref minor hockey, and I also am a linesman in the OHA, so I line junior A and junior C. And it's the one thing where I know as when I'm playing, you get in the heat of the game and stuff gets said or you do stuff. But at the end of the day, I know as an official, as a player and an official, that they're out there trying to do the best they can, and they do call what we see. And in this league, we do have quality officials. A lot of guys that ref junior hockey and high major junior hockey. So I know they're out there doing their best, and especially in these small barns, like the game happens so fast, and they're only human. They only can see what they can see.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things, like it's you gotta think, without the officials, we have no hockey, right? And like you said, the game happens at such a high speed, especially in a barn like Tweed. Like the game is so fast. I mean, 1 minute the puck's in the other end, and the next moment there's a breakaway going the other way. It's a bounce away.
Yeah.
Now, I know one of the things I gotta say is that playoff game you guys had against Barry's Bay this past season, that wild card game, that had to have been one of the most intense games I think that we saw in the playoffs this past year. That finished in a score of 3-2, and I just remember like, oh man, like this game's gonna like at one point we're thinking this game's gonna overtime, and like the goaltending was phenomenal. It said Mo Money had only like 16 shots. I'm like, there's no way Mo Money only had 16 shots. I think he had 16 shots in like the last 8 minutes of the game. He just made everything look easy. And then Lipinski on the other end for the Wolves just played lights out. And I remember like there was hitting the intensity level just hit a different level. I mean, for that community, I remember like the atmosphere was phenomenal. And I mean, for you, that must have gives you goosebumps as a player, doesn't it? Like when you have that kind of atmosphere, you know?
Oh no, it does. And honestly, Barry's Bay, they're a phenomenal hockey club, and they kind of remind uh, me about us when we first started, first year in the league, coming in as a very strong team and getting that community support like we did. Like going up to Barry's Bay, I love playing up there. Going out there and seeing that barn packed, how passionate their fans were with them. I could see why it was easy for them to get up for games too. So I think they're going to be a team that's going to be trouble for us for many years to come.
Oh yeah, and I think they've been a very good addition to the league. Like as you said, like they're a model franchise as well, and I know Billy and myself, we've had discussions about, teams in the league that, because we think really highly of the Tweed Oil King organization and the community. And we're like, Barry's Bay is pretty much is right up there with you guys when it comes to everything you guys are doing. And again, it's not built overnight. And I know I listening to Super and Brad talk on the podcast, like this stuff isn't built overnight, right? This is a lot of hard work and dedication of things that have, a lot of building blocks have been put into place to be successful to where you are. And hats off to those guys too, Super
No,
and
yeah, like
and Brooksy.
honestly,
Those guys are phenomenal.
yeah, honestly, that whole organization, the amount of work that Johnny Desjardins does to get all the guys together, organize everything, Chris Rashad, our owner, all the work he puts in, and yeah, Super and Brooksy, like everyone, like even our bench staff, like Cad and Ruddy, Jason, they do everything, and like even like Super and Brooksy doing our podcast and getting us to our fans, they do a phenomenal job about that. And I know that Brooksy's been messaging me. Him and Super wanted to do a sandbagger with me and Webby. So if you want to tag along, I think it'd be a
Oh,
fun
we've
thing.
been we've been asked. We've been asked. So that will be a lot of fun. I know Super is asking like, "Hey, can you come shoot some awesome footage?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And you probably expect to see me and Billy there at the golf tournament as well. So
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and just to kind of see what the teams are like off the ice. Like in the off season, it's going to be a lot of fun. I gotta say though, like for me, I would say a good model of like I'd say like a lot of inspiration for what I'm doing comes from what Super's done. I think Super's done like a super job. Um, you know, just how he has a passion for the team and the community, and he's kind of that face that you associate with the Oil Kings, right? And I think he's done such a phenomenal job at being that person. I get a good kick out of a lot of his filters that he uses when he announces stuff. I
yeah,
gotta admit.
yeah. No, Super does a
Now,
phenomenal job. Like I'm so thankful for everything he does for our team. Like even my family appreciate it. So like all those road games where he sacrifices time with his family to come on the road with us and live stream all the games, so all the families and fans back home can watch it even though we're on the road. Uh, and yeah, I just got to say thanks to Soup.
now, I'm gonna ask you here. So, what organization do you enjoy playing against the most?
Well, personally, the two teams that I enjoy playing with against the most are probably Deserano and Smith Falls. Over the 3 years we've been together, we've created quite a bit of rival with each other, playing each other regular season and in playoffs. Deserano is a fun place to play because even when we play in Des, they have a great fan base too, but a lot of our fans go. So you can see that crowd split right in the middle and them cheering on both their teams separately. And it's a good atmosphere when we play in Des, and even when we play in Tweed. they have a lot of fans that come into Tweed, and those are always battles back and forth.
Yeah, actually, there was a game earlier this year. Again, you guys trailed against Des and came back and won that game. Actually, it was one of like the few losses that Deserano had this year. So it's funny you mentioned like the going to Deserano and seeing Tweed fans. So when me and Billy were out in Game 5 between Deserano and Smith Falls in the playoffs here, Super actually came and saw the game. Was watching the game with us. We had we had BMO there, and it was like, hey, this is awesome. It just was really awesome. Now now, next question. I usually I ask Luigi this question too. Toughest goalie to score on.
Oh, there's so many good goalies in this league. Pretty much every night it's hard to score on, but I got to say probably Dallas. Stalock, there's a reason he's won goalie of the year a couple of years in a row. He is. He's a phenomenal goalie. He's quick. He's fast. Like it's hard to get that puck around him, and he's always a good challenge. And I like a challenge scoring on a goalie.
I gotta say he's got probably one of the greatest like gloves in the league. He also is a shortstop in baseball, so it's no surprise.
Yeah.
And he's not very big either. He's just a
No.
little bit taller than me, and it makes me think, hey,
Yeah.
maybe there's a chance.
Well, and
Not
he's a
quite.
good challenge, and it makes sense that he's a shortstop because you know me too. Club side's my favorite place to shoot.
It is. It is. Oh, let's get our question here. So I've noticed, maybe I'm not trying to reveal a secret here, but I've noticed there's a set play that you have on a face-off where you line up very, very far end. Where does that come from?
Uh, that came back from Meyer hockey. So last year with the Legion of Doom, me and Kudo started using that play. So I used my wheels and tried to take off, and they tried to swing me on that quick breakaway. And we used it very successfully 2 years ago. So we were trying to do the same thing again this year, where I try to get a good jump on that D and get ahead of them and get a nice pass for a breakaway.
And because you actually even threw us off, and it's like, why do they only have four guys on the ice? The next thing you look across, you're right over there.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of noticed that. So that's really awesome. Now, did you manage to tune into the finals at all between Gan and North Dundas?
Yeah, actually, I did. I watched the last two games. That was phenomenal. Kudos to both teams, and congratulations to GAN for their championship. And yeah, that was great hockey. Two teams battling, leaving it all on the line, and it was great to watch.
Well, it really was, and I me and Billy had a blast out there. I gotta say, up in North Dundas, as a player, it's freezing cold out on that ice during like a storm. But in when you're in the stands, you feel like you're in an air fryer with how hot it is with those heaters on. I'm telling you, I was getting burnt up there. Now, with the new transition of the league, with the new leadership and all that, what are your thoughts and feelings with all that?
I listened to the podcast that they had with you guys and with Super and Brooksy, and I'm extremely excited. It looks like it's going to be a breath of fresh air. They have many great ideas, and I'm excited for what new and is upcoming this season.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very stoked to learn more. They've been fantastic to speak with every day, and they got some great hockey minds. They're hockey fans, so of course, like it's exciting interacting with these guys because they share a passion that that I can relate to. Unfortunately, John's a Sens fan, and Josh is a Vancouver Canucks fan, which that's completely fine. But that makes for great hockey discussions. Now, what's next for you? So, like, what are some challenges that you've set for yourself for this upcoming season?
Just keep working hard and developing my skills and staying in shape to help my team. Just help my team the best way I can. I know we have a great room and we have a great team, so just making sure I have myself prepared for the next season because I know that we're going to be a contending team again, and we want to get over that hump and bring a championship to Tweed because I know if we get a championship to Tweed, that town's going to be rocking, and I can't wait to see that.
Fireworks will be going off like crazy,
Yeah.
along with the moonshine. What is it? What's the off season look like for you so far?
Right now it's really busy. My little guy started playing hockey, so he's doing spring hockey, and I'm coaching it. So he's on the ice practicing 2 times a week, has a game once a week. We had a tournament last weekend, tournament not this weekend, next weekend. So pretty much until June, I'm pretty much wrapped up with his hockey, focusing on that, and then summertime, we got a trailer, so we'll do some camping, and then probably by the end of July, start focusing and getting ready now for the next season to come about. And the other thing I wanted to add was with the new owners, which I like their concept, is doing those crossovers. I know it's a lot of travel for us, but we always like going over there and seeing the teams from the other division. And uh, like we before they separated us, we had a good little rivalry with Arnprior, and that's another barn and another team I like to play against. They're a very good hockey team, and our first year, our first couple years, we had a couple of good battles with them in playoffs, and I'm just excited to go over and see the other division and play some games against them as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's some barns I have never actually been to yet. I've yet to, let's see, I haven't been to Pagan Falls yet because I mean, it was last year's their first season, but I heard they had a really good turnout, about an average of 450 fans per game, which is fantastic. Let's see, trying to think of I still haven't been to the Rangers new facility either, so like honestly there's a bunch of rinks that I just can't wait to get back to. And I don't know what the whole league's going to look like next season in terms of if any teams are going to be moving to a different barn or not, but I'm just excited for the upcoming season. I know the season just ended, but like there's just so much to look forward to. um Now, before I wrap this up here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I just want to give a shout out to all the fans of Tweed, our coaching staff, Desjardins, Brooksy, Cass, Kat, Ruddy, Jason, uh, good old Blue Eyes Tommy, all my teammates, my buddy Louie, my family, Alyssa, Violet, Merrick, my mom and dad, May and Arnie, for always supporting me and allowing me to have a hockey career, them running around year after year, bringing me to all the rinks to play and all the sacrifices they made. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and also Heather and Reg, the I've known them since I was
Yeah.
17, and they followed me around my whole career. All the pictures they take, the way they treat my family. To me, they're part of our family. The way they've been around, and I'm thankful for their continued support.
Oh yeah, she's phenomenal. Like I love seeing the updated photos. She was like messaging me, telling me about like pretty much just told me what you just told me there, and she was like, then tag me in a post with your kids, and it's like these are his kids on the ice, and so that was really that was really awesome. And she's just such a great ambassador for the league and for our game. And I know the players really appreciate her, and Reg as well. And even having pictures of myself on the ice during that warm up, I thought that was really cool. So she might be making an appearance to this tournament I'm playing in this weekend. So who knows? I know there's going to be a few of her favorites out there, so I'm sure she'll probably do her best to be out there.
Yeah,
Well, Rhino, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on. We got to do this again some point, maybe during the season when the season's going on. Let's check in and see how things are going. But I appreciate everything here. And fans, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content and more interviews like this one.
thanks,
Thanks for
Justin.
tuning
Appreciate
in.
it, buddy.
No problem, buddy.